Hello again, I'm Tripp Rogers, and this is Tripp's Take. Monday was the first and only Sports Equinox we'll have in 2024. Now, a Sports Equinox is when all the major sports leagues all play on the same night. This normally would happen in the month of October or November, early November, when you have Major League Baseball in their playoffs and you have hockey and basketball just starting. And of course, the NFL is going on too. But this is the only one we're going to have because Game 3 of the World Series was Monday night. NFL Monday Night Football featured the Giants. And of course, the World Series featured the Yankees losing and the Giants losing. And the NBA featured the New York Knicks losing. And the NHL, all the Rangers were not playing Monday night. Yeah, there you go. But that's what a Sports Equinox is. There have been 31 of them in recent years. And again, part of this is because of the way Major League Baseball schedules. They tried not to schedule games against the NFL, but it's kind of tough to avoid the NFL that much because of the fact that, the NFL is on Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays. And while the Sports Equinox is really interesting, it does make life rather difficult for sports fans. Could have had the triple box or the quad box on YouTube TV because you had so many games. But again, it's just fun if you're a sports fan and you talk about all the sports that there are playing. Let us talk a little bit about the World Series. As a Yankee fan, I was thoroughly disappointed. The Yankees were not in a couple of these games. They just played well. After that Game 1 loss, it seemed like the Yankees just, the bubble was burst. And as the World Series went on, you saw an Aaron Judge pressing to try and hit. And you thought Game 5 was going the Yankees' way. Judge hit a home run. And the Yankees were up 5-0. And you thought, okay, going to L.A. Garrett Cole on the mound. But the Yankees did what the Yankees have done all year. Played badly defensively. They've taken themselves out of innings with base running. And this Yankee team isn't going to intimidate anyone. And that, to me, is what it's all about. The Yankees used to be intimidating. Back in the days when Derek Jeter played with them, they were intimidating. Well, now, not so much. Aaron Judge has not had the kind of Octobers that the Yankees expect out of one of the most exciting players in the game. In fact, Fox set this up as Shohei Ohtani versus Aaron Judge, two of the biggest stars in baseball going head-to-head. Well, neither had a great series. Ohtani hurt his shoulder, and of course, he's coming back. He didn't pitch this year because of shoulder surgery, and it may be he has to have surgery because, again, he messed up his shoulder. He didn't really hit that well, and Judge had the one home run, but that was about it. The Yankees have some severe questions in the offseason, but I kind of wonder if the fact that Aaron Judge really has not played very well, played more like Mr. May rather than Mr. October, you kind of wonder if the Yankees are going to have to break the bank and sign Juan Soto to that huge contract. I don't know if he's worth it because Soto didn't really do a whole lot, but Soto has one and he's younger than Judge too. That's a question for another day. Today, the podcast drops on Halloween. And Halloween was a fun holiday. It wasn't a holiday, but it was a fun day when you were a kid because you dress up and you go out. I wasn't very imaginative with my costumes. No. I was a football player every year, just about. One year, I remember trick-or-treating with my buddy Paul Lombardi. And I want to say it was in 5th or 6th grade. We started at his house, and he lived a couple miles away from me. And we walked from there all the way up to my house. And we got a huge pillowcase full of candy. Now, we got to my house. My mother took him home, and I went around to the neighborhood because all the neighborhood kids, all the neighborhood neighbors were asking where was Tripp when my daughter came around. My sister came around and said, well, Tripp is trick-or-treating. He'll be here later. So I had to go to all the neighbors. They all had to see me that night. It was a lot of fun. I always liked it. I think I stopped trick-or-treating after sixth grade, after this big night that I did this, because of the fact that I really thought I was too old for it. And I know, and I'm trying to remember, my daughter, I don't think trick-or-treated after sixth or seventh grade, may have been eighth grade. But my daughter always had, her birthday's in October, so she would have a Halloween-themed party for her birthday, and everybody would dress up, and it was always a lot of fun. And that was her birthday, and she enjoyed that. I think it's a great thing. But Halloween is a fun time. But if you remember last year, I talked about the fact that parents now have really become helicopter parents, driving their kids from door to door and following them in the car. Really? You can't walk with the kids? I mean, ridiculous. I mean, the one good thing is they have moved daylight savings time, the start of going back to standard time, after Halloween. Because it used to always be the Sunday before Halloween, and that meant it got dark earlier. I just never understood why they didn't do it, because this way, the little kids could trick or treat when it's somewhat daylight, and then it gets dark after 6, and then the older kids would come out. Of course, also living at the Jersey Shore, one of the biggest Halloween traditions, and I participated in many times, was the Toms River Halloween Parade, which is what some people feel is the second largest Halloween parade in the nation, behind, of course, Greenwich Village. And it was always a lot of fun, but it always seemed, it didn't matter how warm the weather was, Halloween night would be the coldest night of the year. And we would always have to sit in the parking lot waiting for our turn to go down Main Street in Toms River. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's some memories I have of Halloween. In fact, that was the other thing about living in Toms River. Your Halloween trick-or-treating night was the night before, and then you had the Halloween parade on Halloween night. Well, other towns didn't go with this tradition, and they would do Halloween on Halloween night. So my daughter would go out trick-or-treating in my neck of the woods when I lived down in Barnegat, and would also go up to Brick to her grandmother's and trick-or-treat around there because she could do that. Never was much into the Halloween parade, although we did go a couple times. She performed in it once, and she would come with me when we would ride the station float. And that is Tripp's Take for October 31st, 2024. Love to hear your comments and questions. Let me know. TrippsTake@gmail.com. Fantasy football players, the Hall of Famer Mike Sheck and yours truly, Tripp Rogers, gets you through Week 9 of the NFL. The Fantasy Sultans are on duty. You can find our podcast on the same spots you find Tripp's Take, on YouTube, and also on Spotify for podcasters. Just search for Fantasy Sultans. Also, Sunday with the Fantasy Sultans airs every Sunday at noon on Fox Sports Jersey Shore, Fox Sports New Jersey, and foxsportsnewjersey.com. If you love the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, hey, give a listen to WTRSradio.com. I'm Tripp Rogers. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, make it a great one.